Interview.
Action.
We could just talk all day.
Right.
So I am sitting here at Michael Thomas Coffee Roasters here in Albuquerque with a good friend and a local photographer, Elliot Archuleta.
Cheers.
Cheers. It is a nice gloomy day.
It is. It looks like maybe another rainstorm is coming.
I'm here for it.
Potentially. Yeah.
Like, as long as I don't have to drive in it, I guess.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to interview Elliot, other than the fact that he's like an exceptional photographer, is just that it's really, really hard to do your art full time these days. It's like super impressive, especially like with photography. There are so many photographers everywhere. I dabble. I know dozens and dozens and dozens who like have part-time shoots here and there, but are terrified to like let their 9-to-5 go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like super like kudos
Yeah, appreciate
for like
that.
diving into that.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just talk a little bit about photography and like
Yeah.
what got you into it.
Yeah.
Let's just start at the beginning.
Sure. So, my story's not like I didn't grow up like taking photos, you know?
Yeah.
Like I didn't. I remember like the first time that I cared was on a camping trip, and I realized that I wanted a camera to take better quality photos of like simple things like flowers, you know, in the river. So my parents bought me this really, you know, I love my mom and dad, so no judgment, but it was like just a really shitty little point and shoot Fuji
Yeah.
camera that, you know, I realized right away I just wanted better quality, you know. So I started saving my money and got I was about 15, 16.
Oh wow, so that is pretty young.
Yeah. So then I got a little Canon T2i, you know, like a year later, and, you know, that was nice. And you know, the better the quality of the camera got, the more I wanted to take pictures, you know. So I really wanted to recreate what I was seeing, and, you know, point and shoots can't really do that. So then a couple years later, I was working at this place called Carpet Source, and I would go to this meeting for my boss. He went to this marketing, like networking meeting every single week at Papados. Mm-hmm. So what it is, it's just like, you know, 10, 15, 20 entrepreneurs meet, and they basically, you know, create, you know, like a network of, cool. You know, of like salesmen. They're like salesmen for each other, right?
Yeah.
So I had to rehearse this thing for Carpet Source, and I was terrified of doing it. That's not really the point. The point is that there was a photographer in the group. Mm-hmm. Her name is Kira Jarmer, mm-hmm. and she owns Elle Photography. She's here in town still. And she needed, long story short, she needed an assistant photographer.
And how old were you?
I was 19.
Oh, wow.
And I was like that would be awesome. I would love to do that. So I hit her up, and, you know, sure enough, I started assisting for her. And I got thrown into it like pretty quick, actually. Like she taught me basic lighting that I didn't know at all. And what she told me, she's like, you know, you have a lot of potential. I really want you to be my second shooter, but I need, you know, you need to have a better camera, basically. Like you need a full frame camera, because I can't deliver, you know, photos from this camera to clients.
Yeah.
So I balled out and basically spent all my savings on a Nikon D800, wow. Which really elevated my game right away. And like the first few months I was shooting for her, she had to go somewhere last minute, and she had this big gig of the Latin Dance Festival, and she just put it on me and asked me if I would do it. And thinking about that now, I don't really think about that very often. Like, that's a moment I'm very proud of, because I did really well. All I had was like a 50mm lens. It was 3 nights, and I was the only photographer. And that's not true. I think there was actually one other photographer for one of the nights. But anyway, I just started with her.
Yeah.
You know, I just had this brand new full frame camera, 45 megapixels, and did really well. And so I just kept assisting with her for like, I don't know how long, maybe a couple years. So that puts me at maybe 21, 22, maybe 23, somewhere around there. And then in 2016, I just decided that I wanted to do this at least part-time.
Yeah.
And that meant, you know, getting a website and, you know, getting business cards made, and, you know, putting myself out there as a at least part-time photographer, because I still had full-time jobs. So it's 2022 now. 6 years went by. And yeah, I mean, I'm here doing full-time photography as of just this year, actually.
Wow.
Just this year, yeah. So my story is different. I mean, there are a bunch of photographers we know that are hustling and doing really well. But really, the only reason I'm able to do full-time photography is because of my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She has a really good gig right now, and she's getting she's getting paid well enough that I'm able to have this job where sometimes it's inconsistent. You know,
so
yeah, that's the part that I would think that I might be a little embarrassed by, but I'm not. I'm like blessed.
No, you shouldn't be embarrassed by that.
I'm blessed to be able to do this full time and to keep learning as I go. Like, you know, nowadays it's not just about taking good pictures, it's about like knowing how to market yourself on Instagram and all these platforms. I'm just not really good at that. I'm getting better, but it's just something that I'm still learning, and I think as I do that and as I put myself out there more, you know, I'll get busier, but yeah, I'm this is like what I'm good at.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
the work that you put out, seriously, like as like an aspiring photographer myself, like it's definitely goals. You're one of the artists that I look up to for a lot of reasons. I mean, your work speaks for itself, but just obviously you're like a super cool person too. And
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot, definitely.
Of course. Are there any like local photographers that you look up to or anything that you kind of like put on a pedestal as like I want to be a little bit more like them? Because I know I have like a solid like chunk where I'm like always like looking at their photos. I'm like zooming in, looking at techniques.
Right.
I'm like, what did you shoot this with?
Oh yeah, there are a lot. We were just talking about Kaylee.
Yeah, Kaylee Mays.
Shout out Kaylee. She just took some photos of the homie Kim and on that Fujifilm, and those were beautiful. I think that was at Your Daily Studios, that the new spot. I don't think it was at Lighthouse.
Yeah, so I think they're like in the middle of renovating Lighthouse right now.
I think they're moving places, but anyway, so I think Kaylee's is up there. It's just every single time I see a photo of hers, I know it's hers instantly, and they're always just so
unique style.
Yeah, they're so beautiful and elegant and timeless. So I think her for sure, you know, she's up there, but also like the work that I've never done. Like I have this like vision of myself being this very different photographer that I'm not now. Like I feel like a lot of my work is, you know, it is like you're saying, it is clean, but it's pretty commercial. There's like not a lot of, in my opinion, there's not a lot of nuance, and I would like to sort of experiment quite a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
There's a photographer, I don't know his name, I should know his name, but his Instagram is Moody Darkroom. And he does more conceptual stuff, lots of lights, lots of lens effects, in camera effects, and that's the stuff that I really enjoy doing. Like I do enjoy, you know, weddings and portrait photography.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, the things that pay are fun, but like the conceptual this conceptual work that requires a lot of planning is like a dream for me, because I've never really done it.
Right. And
it seems so daunting, but it's like this weird fantasy that I have, that I'm like, I see myself as that photographer, but I'm not, you know, but I want to be, and I'm just the person that hasn't really taken that step for whatever reason it is. But
dive in. Maybe now's the time.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's just about like finding your. We were talking earlier before you hit record that, you know, it's really about a lot of industries. You know, success is really about who you know, in a way. Like obviously you have to be decent at what you do.
Yeah.
But I think it really is more about who you know, and I thought for a long time that I was like an extrovert, because I can obviously carry conversation and, you know, go to a party and meet people and be fine, but I don't seek things like this, unfortunately, you know, like sure. I'm fine being by myself. I enjoy being by myself, but I realize that's sort of not serving me as a photographer, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I haven't found my community quite yet, even though I've lived here my whole life. And we're about to move to Denver, actually. I don't know if you knew that, but Sam and I are moving to Denver in March. Yeah.
That's so soon.
Yeah, so
well, we're gonna have to take some cool photos.
Yeah. So maybe I'll you know, take the dive before I leave, to just prove myself that I can, because I know I can. I just have to put myself out there a little more. So,
you know, Albuquerque really does like have so many phenomenal photographers.
Oh yeah.
Even just like the little like monthly photo meetups that we do sometimes, where we all just get out and have a chance to take pictures of things that we actually want to.
Yeah.
I really want to do like a studio day though, where we all just like pitch in and rent the studio for a full solid day.
That would be.
And then do some like really weird shit.
That sounds sick.
Like I'm like the weirder the better. Like I'm into it.
Yeah.
Like
that sounds like a really good
get
idea.
some animals spelled in there or something.
Hell yeah.
Bright colors.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a
vibe
great
with
idea.
it.
Yeah.
I know. So I'm pretty sure that Lighthouse Studio will have their new location, which is supposed to be like bigger and better than ever, up pretty soon. So we'll have to check that out.
Have you been to your daily studios yet?
I haven't.
Okay. I think it's pretty close. Yeah, but I'm excited to go there and to see Lighthouse's new space.
I know your daily studios has lighting too, right?
They do. They have like a lighting package that you can rent the package, and
we might need to pitch in, and I'll do that.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, you're talking about photographers. There are tons.
Right, there's so many. Like I am constantly learning from. I've only been doing photography myself for like 2 years, and I only just. Like speaking of networking, like I feel like the reason that I've been blessed enough to be as busy as a photographer as I am is because I'm good at networking.
Totally, I can tell.
But it's funny though, because I've always labeled myself as an introvert. Like I definitely need my me time, and I need to recharge. And then like I think when I started doing photography, I was just like, this is something I really enjoy doing, and I want to do it as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to like just be surrounding yourself with people and events all the time. It's kind of crazy the amount of people I've met though in the past like 2 years, whether it be through photography. Like some of my clients are now like some of my best friends.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just wild.
That's the best kind of connection. Right. Yeah, I've noticed definitely that you have a knack for meeting new people, putting yourself out there, which is that's important, you know. What's weird, we get like, I think Albuquerque is like really small, and like I feel like I know everybody, which is like ridiculous, right? And then I like find this person that I've never seen before, and I look at their Instagram, and then they're tagging all of these people I've never seen before. And it sort of helps you realize that like, you know, the world's a really big place. Like Albuquerque, as small as it seems, is actually pretty big, and there are like tons of really amazing visual artists out there, you know, that I want to meet and work with, and so.
New Mexico's a gifted place for that.
Yeah.
And like I know that like Denver is obviously a bit bigger, but like I feel like Albuquerque art scene probably matches it. Like,
I don't know.
At least for like photographers and stuff, there's probably more music and stuff there. But
yeah, I don't know much about Denver, to be honest, which is kind of nerve-wracking, but also exciting.
It's so beautiful.
It is.
I had the chance to do like a family shoot from somebody who lived in Fort Collins.
Okay.
And they like drove, like I was on vacation in Denver for the weekend.
Yeah.
And they like liked my work, so they drove down from Fort Collins and met me in Denver. And
Oh,
I was
sick.
like, this is super cool.
That's awesome. Those are like great moments that you realize.
I was like, someone's willing to drive an hour and a half for me.
Right? Yeah, so when you're like doubting yourself, you just think about something as small, that's not small, but just one instance.
No,
you're like, okay, like I'm doing something right. Even if I'm telling myself that I'm not, like I clearly am. Absolutely. So those are good moments to keep in the bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else you want to add?
Gosh.
Sorry,
I don't know.
Put you on the spot like that.
Oh no.
This is like less of an interview and more of just like we're just openly chatting, and I'm totally here for it.
Yeah. No, I wanna like put myself on the spot. So, you know, this video will be immortalized. So, you know, doing something that we just talked about, like branching out and stepping outside of my comfort zone and completing a body of work that I am really proud of before I leave. I think that's what I want to add to myself, to tell myself that.
So you got 5 months.
Looking back,
Albuquerque.
that I'll have done
you
something.
did a lot in 5 months.
It's true.
I cannot
it's true.
wait to see Albuquerque again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks for.
Super cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
So again, Elliot Archuleta. His Instagram name is, spell Elliot for me because sometimes people spell it differently.
Yeah, 2 L's, 1 T, Elliot.
Okay.
Archuleta.
Elliot Archuleta. I'll tag him in this, and we'll go from there.
Sweet.
Yeah, thank you for taking
Yeah.
the time to chat.
Thank you. Sayonara.